With the 2025 Liga MX Clausura season just a few days away, honestly, by the time this video comes out, it would have already started. But we're going to give our predictions on who we think are going to be the biggest losers, the winners, goal scorers, and everything surrounding the Liga MX Clausura season. But before we get into everything, make sure you guys subscribe. Check out all the platform links down below. Give this video a like if you want to watch more Liga MX content. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Charla Football. I'm your host, as always, Gerardo. Accompanied with me is Tomas, who's finally back, ready for some Liga MX content, ready for this new Liga MX season. You ready, bro?
Of course, bro. I've always been ready.
In that case, you're going to get us started off. Who do you think is going to be the biggest loser of this Clausura season?
Honestly, I think it's going to be Santos. Just off of recent form, they've been terrible these past two seasons, and it's sad to see. So from a historic club like Santos.
Yeah, I mean they have a lot of trophies under their belt. They had gotten rid of their president, and now they have like a 24-year-old running the club, which I mean isn't a bad, which wouldn't be bad if they'd be successful. But I mean, off of what we saw just like about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, when the season was ending, they brought in the coach like Gaetano Ortiz, who has a lot of experience coaching Liga MX, coaching teams like Monterrey, America, coming back to a club like Santos Laguna, where I think he played at for some point. So it'll be an interesting mix to see what happens there. I don't know if they'll be the biggest loser. I think there's a lot of clubs who didn't really reinforce themselves the best way going into this new season. I'm gonna throw in there maybe even a team like Mazatlan. I know the last season they were undefeated for almost all of the season at home, but I mean they just and then coming into this new season, I don't really see them doing anything impeccable. Same thing with Bravo. So I think for me, it's between Bravos and Mazatlan.
The reason I say Santos is because of Tano. Tano has came into two institutions where he wasn't able to do anything different. When he got to America, America was making semifinals, looking for a way to get into the final. What did he do? Made back-to-back semifinals and lost both of them out of 4 seasons. What did he do in Monterrey? Same thing. Couldn't make a final. So, I mean, the thought process is he doesn't really improve teams. He kind of just keeps them where they're at. So, Santos at the bottom. I believe they will stay at the bottom.
Damn. Now, how about kind of flipping the switch a little bit? Let's look to the top half of the table. Who do you think? First, let's start with like the winner of the regular season. Who do you think will finish on top, first place?
I feel like it might be Cruz Azul again because although they let Luis Romo go, they are really they have a lot of depth in the midfield, so maybe it won't hurt too much.
Mhm.
And with the introduction of Chiqueta, I mean that was a luxury because they already have a pretty decent backline. So it'll pretty much probably just be the same result for his place.
I think I'm gonna have to agree with the Cruz Azul take. Honestly, I mean, they didn't make an enormous splash in the market, but Chiquete to the back line is a big boost. They brought in a young Mexican goalkeeper, I think, to be like second or third string, which is always good for the goalkeepers to provide competition, especially with the idea of Kevin Mier, I think, possibly going to Bayern Munich. I don't know if that's still happening or whatnot, or what's happening there, but I think they didn't make crazy amounts of moves, but the team is the same, the idea is the same, and Anselmi and the squad, I'm sure they're hungry for silverware. So I think Cruz Azul is a good shout for first. Looking at the whole of La Liga, do we think Cruz Azul is going to win it all, or will it be another Cruz Azuliada? Do you think maybe a Tetracampeonato is on its way for America, or maybe we'll have a different winner? Who do you think is going to win all of the tournament?
I feel like Monterrey might win it, and I actually feel they might be Cruz Azul in the final.
Oh shit!
But because Monterrey, honestly, they just simply deserve it. They've been in these final instances. They've spent a lot of money, and I mean they just to have the most complete squad. What happened versus this past final was just unfortunate. Losing Luis Ocampos, which is like their best player of the regular season, and then Sergio Canales playing injured for most of the final.
I know probably a lot of people are expecting me to disagree with some of your takes, but Monterrey is a hot shout, especially because, I mean, to get to the final last season, I mean, they hadn't played, I guess you could say, like, it wasn't an impeccable run to get to the final, but they played just good enough. They unfortunately faced an America team that went from worse to better in the most important part of the season. But right now, Monterrey, with the signings that they made, especially, I really like the Osa signing from Pachuca. I think they definitely could be up there as contenders and possibly could win it all if everything goes right for them.
Oh yeah, I mean, the Osa really is that sign that they would have needed that type of player that they would have needed it when Ocampos went injured.
No, I agree with that for sure. Now let's look at who's someone that could possibly surprise us. I mean, last season it was San Luis going to the semifinals, beating Monterrey in the first leg. Unfortunately, they fell through in the second. But I mean, do you think maybe they'll be the underdog once again in this coming season, or maybe someone else's turn to be an underdog?
I feel like San Luis will make it to the final instances again just because of the project they have with Dominic Torrent. I don't think there's going to be any other surprises. I think it's just going to be what we're used to seeing in these instances. Maybe
You know,
Tijuana again. That's about it.
Tijuana, I know they made a lot of like good like young player moves, young Mexican player moves. I mean, they have pretty much the same squad. They didn't see any like them selling anybody big. They're keeping the same squad. They can possibly, if they fix their defensive structure, they can definitely get up into Liga and compete. But I think a team that we might be overlooking is a team like Atlas, who just signed a Mexican manager in Gonzalo Pineda, who of course we had on the channel before, and obviously we're wishing him the best of luck as well. But I do want to see, a young Mexican manager thrive in Liga MX. I think Atlas they started off really bad last season, but towards the latter end of the season, they almost got into Liga. So I think if they just continue with the project, if they continue what they've been working on, and with the promises that I've seen in preseason, I think Gonzalo Pineda can get the best out of these players. So Atlas is going to be my shout for the potential underdog of this season. And now kind of looking at the individual side of the Liga, who do you think is going to be the best player of the Liga in general? Last season, I guess you can say Zendejas could have been up there, maybe Malagon. Obviously it had to be one of the title contending players as well, or title winning players. But who do you think is going to be the best player in this season?
This season, I feel like it'll be between just 3 players, and they're all from the same team. It's either going to be De Osa, it's either going to be Ocampos, it's going to be Sergio Canales.
Sergio Canales is a contender too from last year's season as one of the best signings and the best players of the season. I really want to see him like thrive. I know he's getting a little older, but I think he still has enough in the tank to make an impact. De Osa is a good shout as well. I mean, we already know he's a fucking baller. He was a baller for Pachuca, and I think he's going to bring that and more to this Monterrey team. I think a player also that we're forgetting is Paulinho, a top goal scorer, absolute class up top. I don't think he has any plan of stopping to score. So I think Paulinho could definitely be one of the better players, maybe even the best goal scorer in the league. Which leads me to my next question. Do you agree with that take of him being the best goal scorer of the league, or maybe you want to throw another top goal scorer in there?
I feel like it'll be similar to last year, where it's between Paulinho and Sepulveda, but I'll add Berterame just because of the midfield that he will have going into.
Berterame is a hot shout too. All right, then. Well, that's pretty much all our Liga MX predictions. Let me know if we missed anything else. If you guys agree or disagree with any of our takes. Tomas, thank you for hopping on. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, check out all the platform links down below. And let's get ready for this Clausura season. And we'll catch you guys after the first week when we wrap up everything. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.